Here we go. Um, we can start it.
Three, two, one. Yeah.
3, 2, 1. So, welcome everybody. This is gonna be a best of three series between Melkor and Glokken in the Voobly seasonal quarterfinals. So, I'll give you the opportunity to actually introduce the teams, well, at least the players.
Sure. All right. So in the north corner of the map, we have Melkor playing as the Spanish, and in the south corner of the map, we have it's Glocken. Looks like he's not playing on his Glocken thing Unleashed account. And the blue playing as the Malay. Um, I can also talk about their maps if you want.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah. All right. So I'll start with Melkor. We can see right away that his main gold and his main stone are not ideally placed. They're pretty damn close up against the walls. Uh, let's see, one of his secondary golds is also outside his base, but his other secondary gold is towards the back of his base. So I think he can certainly work with this map, but it's definitely not the best.
Yep,
Uh,
uh, I
Barry's
absolutely
also
agree.
towards the back. Um, yeah, there's not much more to say about his map. And taking a look at Glocken's map, he also has a very similar gold and stone situation. But he has his two secondary golds in the back of his base, and his secondary stone as well outside his base. Let's see, the neutral resources are all scattered towards the middle of the map. You have the two golds, one closer to Glocken, one I'd say slightly closer to Melkor, the neutral stone closer to Melkor, which um, personally think the Spanish might find a bit more of a use for that extra stone, perhaps with some bombard towers later on, if he Melkor ever wanted to decide to go for that.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. This is a little bit concerning stone for macro, I would say, because with Spanish, well, both for towers, both for castles, you will need this stone, and castles is kind of important for Spanish. So for Melkor, this is not a great stone, not a horrible one though, because well, he'll have access to it unless Sunglocken actually decides to tower this one. Um, yeah, that's a beautiful back gold here for Melkor. So he is having an alright base in general. For for Glocken, same can be said. A little bit concerning this secondary gold here on the left for him, if you think about that. So that's behind a kind of thin wood line, so there is a possibility of it getting towered as well. Yep, these are recorded games. Um, Grandpa error. So looking around with the civilizations, Malay, interesting choice, definitely interesting choice. I just considered generally uh, Spanish a better civ.
They definitely have more raw power. That's the thing. But Malay, they've got the economy. They've got the monk. They've also have really solid monks, and their late game. I mean, it lacks power, but what they lack in power, they make up for the fact that they have every available counter. And this is something, Demise Red. Shout out to Demise because I'm sure he's in the chat right now. I saw him a little earlier. But according to Melkor, who gave the commentary for the Malay, they have everything that they could possibly need to counter anything that comes out against them. So, and kind of the Spanish in that sense too. They're kind of like a countering and balanced kind of civilization where they don't really have any weakness. So it's going to be a really interesting dynamic, in my opinion, where I think both these civs can have a really good time countering each other.
Yep, that's true. I believe that there is definitely an early advantage for Malcor. I still believe that. So Spanish is an insanely strong civ, especially early Castle Age. The walls will prevent the early conquistador push. I'm pretty sure. Um, Looking around, a little bit interesting lumber camp placement for Glocken, I would say. I'm not sure why he's not using, well, either the left side over here, that would be a little bit more safe, or he could use this backwood as well. So,
Well, I'm not sure. Thing is, I'm not sure how often Glocken has played with Melkor, but as far as I can tell, I mean, Melkor isn't very fond of like early towers because I have seen quite a bit of his gameplay. I mean, if he's going to use towers, it's going to be more towards like the middle, like the mid to late game. Like, for example, I saw him in a recording where he was Japanese and he was dropping Yazama keeps in the late game. And I've seen him drop Bombard towers in the late game as Spanish, but hardly if ever in the early game. So I think aside from that, maybe it's just out of necessity because both sides with his wood lines they're very oddly shaped because it's kind of gonna be an uncomfortable camp placement wherever he puts it.
Yep, Glocken going extremely aggressive, going on stone. This is gonna be towers from him, it looks like.
Ooh,
Now,
is this gonna be a tower hop?
that could also be possible. Let's see what he knows about the base of Melkor. He basically does nothing, so he has no idea where this stone is, which is kind of
Yeah,
important.
he's gambling.
Yep. This is gonna mean that he could. Well, the best thing he could do is tower hop, and it looks like he's gonna go for that. And right now, it feels like Melkor won't be able to actually deny that one. He will have to walk around that.
Slow market tower hop. Here we go. Melkor responded to this really well.
Yep, that's definitely a good reaction there, rolling around the market. But the idea was great from Glocken.
Sorry, he does have to be really careful about this corner, though. Yep, because he's got it now. Because if he builds a tower right behind the corner, he can actually hop over that if it's just house foundations.
Yep, that's true. Now, one thing I'm thinking about is that Glocken will have the chance to actually tower that stone now once he's inside. So, the thing is that even if Melkor actually just surrounds this with additional layers of houses, still Glocken will be able to drop a tower over here and deny the only stone of Melkor from... So, yep, here we go. With the tower is coming Glocken, and this is going to be concerning for Melkor, especially that he went for stone quite early. Because, well, he definitely had plans for his stone, but it looks like it's going to be denied from him.
And also, maybe to an extent, Glocken is also exploiting, I guess you could say, a weakness of Melkor, because he's very fond of these very late up times, because he likes going, well, if he's not going scouts, he's going to be trying to get map control in some other way. Maybe he'll go crossbows, or in this case, since he's Spanish, he would probably have gone for conquistadors. But I think, like, because he went up on 28 population, like that is it's about as late as an uptime can get on Arena. So
yep. Now Melkor is going to be quite behind in fuel age, obviously. The thing is that he's getting completely denied of his dome at this point, and right now he's in Dark Age, so he can't even counter tower at this point.
Looks like I'm checking the chat in my phone. Actually, it looks like nobody's saying to turn up my volume.
Yep, I did that already.
Oh,
I was doing that just so. Here comes a defensive tower from Melkor. He will try to secure his gold with this. This is not a bad tower by any means, but yet again, he's going to lose his stone, which is definitely going to be an issue for him in the long run.
Drakant saying in the chat that Melkor never went Castle Age Conks to Spanish. That's interesting.
Whoa, that's indeed interesting, but definitely Glocken is playing for the denial of the stone. If you actually take a look at here, he's gonna stonewall around the stone deposits in the middle of the arena as well.
He's still saying to turn up the volume. Wow.
Yep. Now I did. I might get deaf, but well, at least they'll hear you. So hopefully it's gonna be all right now.
Has MBL hijacked Glocken's account? He's just blaming the hell out of the stone on the outside too.
Yep, that's
toxic,
true.
Man, toxic.
Also, just 4 villagers inside the Tower of Melkor, so really gonna be interesting if this defensive tower can actually hold himself. Not sure. Also, that lonely scout for Melkor is just patrolling inside the fortress. Not as if it mattered, but also, let's see. Melkor has to know about his bag gold. Okay. He knows about bag gold, so I was scared for a second that he might actually lose control of this fort gold, which is definitely a possibility if you think it over. So if Glocken goes for another tower, he will most likely tower this gold over here, or could potentially try going for the farms, but he's just gonna use his villagers to bring that tower down. The scout won't be able to do that much over there, I am pretty sure.
He can partially deny the main gold if he is smart about his tower placement, and if he gets he already has fletching. So if you were to put on the Fog of War and go onto Melkor's perspective, you can see the walls only have 2 tiles of sight. So if he builds it right behind there, right outside Melkor's line of sight, he can actually mostly deny that main gold as well. But it looks like you won't have to consider that because Glokken is building one right up his grill.
Yep. Well, it doesn't actually even matter to hide that tower away from Melkor. Melkor has no stone at this point to pull up another tower for himself because he's just getting denied of his only stone deposit.
This is, I mean, I wouldn't say Melkor necessarily has a weakness against like forwards like this, but I think he's definitely better at dealing with them like on Arena. But like I've seen him play like on Arabia, and he's a solid player on Arabia. And then, but the moment he gets forwarded, it's like he just shuts down.
Yep, that's true. And right now,
I think we're seeing that in display a little bit right here, even though this is Arena.
Yep. Now the issue for him at this point is that well, not much he can do. He can't actually drop down offensive castle. He can't counter tower. The best he can do is just go for knights. But can he clean up this many towers with such a few knights? He's just gonna escort his entire eco to the back of his base.
I mean, he's getting chain barred, and they're gonna be pretty resilient. So I'd say definitely he will be able to. Just a handful of knights, I think, will be able to do the job.
Well,
these towers are only gonna do 2 damage a shot.
That could be possible, true, but it's gonna delay the eco of Melkor quite a bit. Also, quite worth noting that at this point, Melkor is still denied of his stone, and he has no market. This will mean that he can't get access to stone, and he will be staying on 1 TCs for quite a while.
He's trying to escape with these villagers. Yeah, I was gonna mention that they were trapped, but Glokken would try to get them away. One going down, though. He's making spears. Spears obviously not strong enough to take on knights. But I guess they can do something. What's Glocken's economy looking like right now? Okay, looks like he's almost to Castle Age. Looks like he's only got 2 on gold, though. I would personally put a little bit more, because I think you'd want to get up fairly fast.
Yep, well, he doesn't necessarily need to hurry that much, because just look at that villagers taking the fight against the stable. That's some interesting strategy over there, but it could work. It could work. The quick walls are insane there. Now, the thing is that, like I said, Melkor will stick with just 1 TC, and this will mean that Glokken will have a way better eco in the long run. So, already quite a few villagers ahead. Obviously, he will still need to get up to Castle Age, so this difference is going to decrease. But still, if he plays this smart, then he can just drop a 2nd TC right as he hits Castle Age, and he can get a way better eco up as compared to Melkor.
Yeah, Malay have one of the best economies, I'd say, in the mid-game on this map. Is that 4-ish villager advantage, it really starts to come into effect on Arena. And also, one of the things, like personally, if I was ever getting trushed on Arena, one of the things I'm really fond of doing lately is maybe get up to Castle Age myself, forward some archery ranges and a siege workshop, and siege tower hop over some expos and just wreak havoc on my opponent's economy. But the thing is, and I guess Glokken, I'm not sure if he's aware of this, but he just might be exploiting it unintentionally. Spanish don't get crossbow. The only civilization in the game to not get crossbow. So we can essentially rule out any sort of counterattack Melkor could do back in Glocken's base.
Yep, that's true. Now, still, Glokken is just continuing with the towers, now facing a few rams. I'm not sure why he went for additional towers there. He saw the rams coming, so he can't really do anything against these rams with the knights roaming around. So at this point, he's gonna lose his towers. But yet again,
his knight's running low on HP.
Yep.
He could use a monastery at this point. He needs a monk or 2 to heal these guys up.
Yep. But the same can be said for Glokken. Now Glokken is up to Castle Age and he's facing a decent amount of knights, so at this point for him, a few monks could definitely help him.
He's bringing 4 more villagers forward. Is he thinking of dropping a castle? No, he's not. I just checked the stone count. He's way far away from a castle.
Nope, it's just a stable coming up for him.
I wonder if he'll grab pikemen as well. No, he just doesn't have the economy for it.
At this point, I think a better way to go for Glokken would be monks, because, well, he can... Right now, he controls the entire map, so he can grab all the relics he wants, and still those monks will be especially useful against all those knights.
The problem is, without like a mangonel behind these towers to defend against the rams, I don't think the guard tower upgrade is going to do all that much.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I'm not exactly sure what he was doing there because, well, the Rams were just decimated. He's trying to stonewall that around though. So, might happen. Eventually, that's gonna work. That's gonna be some decent stonewalling there for Glocken. Gonna delay those Rams a little bit. Still, I think he's just playing to deny the stone, it looks like. But, that's good for Melkor. Melkor just deleted the mining camp, meaning that the Rams will be able to access the tower, and that villager will be unlikely to be able to actually vote away. So,
as he micros, garrisons, and then gets to the other side and walls it in before the Ram gets to it. No, that's not going to happen. Ram's on the tower.
yep, that's true. Ram on tower, and that tower is gonna be gone. Still, he's gonna try and snipe down the other Ram with the villagers, right?
What's the big idea of bringing 4 more villagers over? I mean, like I was saying, maybe the forward siege workshop could have been work, but he's not building one with these guys. A 20-minute, okay, that's not too bad. It's like Castle Age double bit X for Melkor. I'm guilty of that as well. When I'm just facing tower pressure, I tend to forget about eco upgrades.
Now, you can also see that Glocken is dropping down his additional TC, second TC coming up for him, so he will sooner or later have a better eco than his opponent. Still, Melkor is just on 1 TC, but right now...
10 villager difference. Although, I think Glocken might have wheelbarrow? No, he doesn't.
Well,
looks like it. Well, in any case, GG called for
Glocken. That's some interesting GG over there. Eventually, Melkor's gonna bring this to his victory. So the tower push didn't work, and eventually Glocken just decided to give this up, which is a little bit surprising because I feel like he completely had the chance still. He was behind the eco by 10 villagers, but he was getting his second TC up, so a little bit premature GG in my estimation.
And towards late feudal age, he actually had an eco lead, I think. I think I saw like a 6 or 7 vill lead over Melkor, and I think what happened was just he lost all those villagers that were forward.
Well, some of that lead was actually accounted to the fact that Melkor was faster to Castle Age, so that lead was actually major when Melkor was up in Castle and Glocken was still in feudal. So I think the primarily lost villagers were here. They were actually dying from the towers. It was like 6 or 7 villagers in total. Other than that, Glocken still had the chance to do this, I think. I just feel like this was way too premature. I mean, he had complete map control. Looking at his resources, he had 700 wood as well, so he could have easily dropped down a monastery, grab all 5 relics, and just bring it late game, right?
I think I definitely agree. Discern in the chat saying he's just rage quit because he lost his position. Tower rush isn't successful, just rage quit.
Yeah, well, he still has 2 other games to win, so it's just gonna be that way. So next game coming up very soon.
All right, I'll flip it up. We can just repeat the process. Just tell me when to go.
All right, so gonna actually hop into the second game.
We should. Oh, you clicked out of the achievements. Well.
Yep.
Well, in any case, obviously Glocken had the faster feudal age time. Melkor faster castle age. Melkor had more food collected. Glocken more wood, more stone, more gold for Melkor as well. Surprising considering he had his main goal denied.
Yeah, but he had a lot of gold at the back end. Well, he couldn't actually had to go for stone miners because he had no access to stone. So while Glocken was using his villagers to actually mine the stone, well, the best thing that Melkor could do in that situation was just to fall back and grab his back gold. So that's probably the reason why he had more gold production. So here we go.
That was his saving grace. The one, that one secondary gold in the back that saved his ass.
Yep, that's absolutely true. So are you ready for the second round between Melkor and Glocken?
Yep. Just tell me when to go.
All right. So here we go. This is gonna be the second installment, and we can go, I guess. Right?
All right. 3, 2, 1.
So this is gonna be the second installment between Melkor and Glocken in the Voobly Arena seasonal championship quarterfinals. So on the left side, we're gonna have Glocken with Spanish now. So he's gonna take the previous civilization from Melkor, and on the right side, Turks for Melkor in red. Now, looking at Melkor's base, he'll again have a decent, beautiful back gold. That's going to be extremely important for him. His stone is quite at the front, not so fortunate, but this is still an alright stone, I would say. Could it be denied? But it's not a huge issue. So this is an alright stone for him. Not perfect, but kind of alright. Front gold is going to be interesting though. So if Glocken goes for the tower push again, then this can definitely be denied way easier than previously. So this is kind of a decent front gold, but still it's not the greatest gold I've ever seen. Meanwhile, on the other side, for Glocken, he's going to have a horrible primary gold. That is extremely bad, and his secondary gold is also insanely bad. That is an extremely bad map for him. Also, only stone deposit at the front. So this is a bad map for Glocken.
When you have this layout of map that Glocken has, this is just unavoidable. Basically, you're gonna have bad resources because you have no space in the back where they can spawn, and they're either going to be spawned in the front, or if they are at the back, they're going to be smushed up against the tree line. So he's kind of out of luck there. So yeah, I definitely agree. Huge map advantage for Melkor, I'd say, because he at least has safe gold and stone in the back. And I'm wondering if he's going to have a little PTSD from Glocken in the last game and decide to plug up the holes in the corner of his walls just to prevent any more tower hops.
Yeah, that would be more than reasonable for him. So at this point, he should be doing that. At least place a palisade there just to deny the tower hop. Now it's definitely a possibility to go for tower hop for Glocken if you think about that. He's Spanish, so he has the building speed advantage. That could be quite useful in this situation.
I think. Oh yeah, we should talk. You mentioned this, Sis, but I think we can discuss that a little bit. So, Melkor Civ Turks, it's kind of a wild card with him because he loves his scouts. He loves taking map control with scouts, but he also has a track record of doing that with Janissaries as well. Because Janissaries they're just such a strong Castle Age unit. It's kind of hard to pass them up.
Yeah, I was thinking about Janissaries as well for him, but if I had to actually predict, I would say that Melkor's gonna open with his scouts, which is, like you said, quite popular for him because as Turks you get the free upgrade to light cav, so those scouts will even be a little bit useful in early Castle Age as well, and you will also secure a lot of map control with that, and so you will have the chance to actually grab quite a decent amount of relics.
And for Glocken Civ Spanish, the thing is, GPN, he always told me that it's a bad idea for Turks to go Janissaries if the Spanish player opts for Conquistadors, which they do pretty often. And that's just because Conquistadors are more pop efficient. But that being said, pop efficiency isn't super important in the mid game. It's more of a late game thing. So assuming Melkor has an equal resource amount of Janissaries compared to Conquistadors out, then I think if I remember correctly from like stuff I saw in the scenario editor, the Janissaries can actually end up winning. So it's going to depend on numbers mostly, assuming both these guys go for their unique units.
Yeah, that's true. I think just in general, the Janissaries can be a little bit stronger than the Conquistadors. Yet again, Conquistadors will have way better mobility. So well, it's really depending on how you use them.
Monks. Yeah, they're also more vulnerable to monks though because 2 less range than Janissaries.
Yeah, the range advantage is going to be an extremely huge thing for Melkor, to be honest. So that can be a game decider over there. It looks like Glocken's going to go...
Glocken. What are you doing, man?
Yep.
There wasn't supposed to be any towers in this quarterfinal, man.
Yep, he's just going 5 villagers on stone. So is he going to do a tower hop again? It looks like Melkor has been preparing for this now. Eventually he's going to just wall that corner in, making sure that tower hop's not going to happen. But yet again...
Good for Melkor. Good on you, bro.
There's another corner. He needs to finish that as well, just to make sure.
That is... Thing is, if Glocken comes from this side, the left side, the GG gold. If he goes from the right side, GG stone.
Yeah, the stone is a larger issue because, well, he has some gold at the back, but But if he
Well,
gets
does have
the
the
stone
neutral
denied, if he gets the stone denied, okay, he has backstone. Okay, I missed about that one. That's gonna be extremely important because even if he gets the primary stone denied, then he's gonna have a chance to go for castles and janissaries. And here comes Glocken. He's not gonna be able to hop inside. Let's see what he can actually know about this base. A weird watchtower placement, I would say. So why would you place it over there? He has no information about the base of the opponent, so placing it over here is kind of weird, I would say.
So it looks like, I mean, I've seen guys like Stark do this one time, where he won't be able to bust in through these walls. But there are still vulnerable resources for his opponent. So he'll probably just surround this perimeter with. Oh no, I was wrong.
He's
Glocken.
So Glocken.
What are you doing?
Glocken. He will try to get inside through stone walls. That's definitely some next level arena strategies, as you can see. Well, I'm still waiting for Melkor to just add the second layer of stone walls. Glocken can actually destroy. So,
Glocken.
Also quite worth noting
so
that on the other side, oh, Melkor actually didn't do the other corner. Melkor actually forget about the other corner, right?
The trush on the left side was just a distraction, Melkor.
Meanwhile, Melkor is just gonna layer new and new layers of wall over here, making sure that, well, Glocken will never get inside here. Best thing he can do.
So all in on this. What is this? 8 villagers forward. This is ridiculous.
Yep, that's absolutely true. So he's gonna be behind by quite much. If this fails, I'm pretty sure that if this fails, he's gonna rage quit again.
I mean, Turks are one of those civilizations that's very dependent on both gold and stone. So maybe just Glocken feels like it's worth doing this. But if memory serves me right, I mean, he was more or less playing in the dark on this map too, because, I mean, these resources are forward, but they're still back enough that I don't think Glocken would have been able to see it with just a Dark Age scout.
Yeah, take a look here at Glocken's point of view. He has no idea that his opponent actually has back gold and back stone. Well, he will soon notice because, well, about the gold I'm pretty sure, so he will have to notice that his opponent is not on gold. And
you know, I think also a part of it is maybe Glocken knows just how strong Melkor is on Arena, and maybe he just doesn't feel comfortable playing standard, so he feels like he has to do this.
Yep,
and that's my only hunch.
That's absolutely true. Now, Glocken's towers here could be quite decent. If he places right next to the wood line over here, then it could actually partially deny this stone, this gold. So the thing is that this tower is just not enough to see the gold at the back over here. But again, Glocken going to the stone walling around the stone. Exact same strategy as before. He's just trying this again, mining stone in the opponent's base. Yet again, next level strategies. He's on stone with 7 villagers right now, 3 of them inside the fortress of Melkor.
Yeah, make your opponent pay for your castles for you.
But
he lames the second stone, just like last time. Is this going to be deja vu for Melkor?
I would like to emphasize a comment in the chat from Melkor. So he said that you realize that the arena walls are actually 1.8k health. But well, Glocken is definitely committed to actually busting through this wall with his scout. Now, quite worth noting that in the previous match he did the exact same thing. So while he was inside with like 5 towers, he was actually beating a wall with his scout. Well, it will break sometime later. He's definitely preparing for a late game with that. So in late Imperial that might be a factor. Before that, he's not gonna be able to get through. Meanwhile, defensive
Melkor,
tower.
You want to maybe put your own tower there? He's gonna kill half of your farm eco. All right, he's on it.
Yep.
Spanish builders do build faster, but I still don't think 3 builders outpace 7 builders, 7 generic builders.
Yep. Now Melkor with his own tower, and Melkor gonna go for a siege workshop. Still, the thing is that Glocken is just in feudal. So Melkor in feudal, and he's just gonna go for the barracks, doing the exact same as previously. Just gonna try and tower Melkor, but I think the outcome will most likely be the same as previously.
I just have to say to the chat real quick, if you leave just because we're seeing towers, I honestly wouldn't blame you, because I thought because we all thought the whole idea of giving the arena arena walls 1800 HP was to stop this kind of thing. But no, towers are just too OP. You can't pass them up, no matter what.
But eventually, even the player with the towering is gonna fail this. Like as previously.
GPN is in the house.
Yep.
Glokken Titanic.
Glocken's gonna Titanic this, that's absolutely true. Eventually, tower is gonna go down again. Final second walling for Glocken. But still, what is he gonna do with this one? So, Melkor up in Castle Age. Let's see, Melkor is not mining stone, so he's not gonna go for Janissary, he's just gonna go for the Knights and clean up the towers.
One thing I liked about the Turks as a civilization, especially in Wololo Kingdoms, is just how flexible their late game has become. Because with the Spahi upgrade, the new upgrade that they got with Wololo Kingdoms, they have the option to go for cav archers instead of like their gunpowder. And I think the one upside with that is you theoretically only ever need one castle, and that's to get the Spahi upgrade itself. And all the stone that you didn't spend on like extra TCs and like the castle can just go to bombard towers, which of course is a strength of the Turks as well. So that's personally one thing I liked about them.
Yep. Now Glocken is still not giving up on this. He's facing scorpions with just a few spears. Rams will just take down these towers just fine, and at this point Glocken's eco is a mess. So he's not even producing villagers, as he's gonna call it a GG.
Yeah. Oh my god.
So
what are you doing, Glocken?
Well, this is definitely the case when a strategy isn't working, as he's just gonna lose these two matches extremely fast. In just 40 minutes of game time. He went extremely aggressive, but let's state that Melkor had a great map both times, so the thing is that the bag gold helped Melkor quite a bit in both games, so this could have been better for Glocken, I believe, but Melkor had quite lucky maps, and this was like an all-in push for Glocken.
GPN, you were being sarcastic yesterday when you told us props to Glocken on Discord yesterday, didn't you? Or maybe you were saying that ironically, because the way you were saying it, I assumed that he would just play standard and just duke it out with Melkor and post-imp, but no. And I was really looking forward to that too, because Melkor is I just love seeing him on Arena. And unfortunately, we just weren't able to see that.
Yep. So this is kind of fast series. Looking at the achievement screen, real quick, I'm gonna switch back there.
Oh, you skipped the achievement screen last game, and this time I skipped the achievement screen.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I am learning my way. So a whopping 8 unit kills for Melkor, 1 unit kill for Bas Glocken. So Glocken, Melkor, definitely huge fights, lots of casualties. With 9 total deaths in this match. So now we're gonna switch to